Hello friends, Brian again, doing the thing I do, reminding you to subscribe to the Fusion channel to see more of the tournament.
But yeah, if you had to make a prediction on this one, would you go with ApparentlyJack running the same upset again? Personally, I wouldn't. I think Joreuz has got this in the series format, but how much faith have you got in Jack bouncing back from the 2v2 loss yesterday and making this a real series?
I got this as like a 70-30 matchup, in my opinion, on the side of Joreuz. I think he's definitely better, especially for a long set. Obviously, we have seen previously that you can definitely see the one game and maybe read a little bit too much into it, but I think a lot of people are going to come into this one still expecting Joreuz to be the player to beat of the two. I know a lot of people want to see him against Khaled later on in the bracket, but he's got a big test to go through first. This, for Stormtroopers, was probably their most anticipated bracket to gain points. Yes, they've got themselves a tough matchup, but they had tough matchups in everything, and ApparentlyJack, I think, is their best shout at gaining points this tournament.
Yeah, they'll of course be looking to make an upset happen in threes now that they're out of the 2v2. But look at that early on. That's a terrifying flick from Jack. Joreuz had no chance to save it had it been on target, but the post had him covered. Really, just I think seeing what we've seen so far from EU Fusion, it just looks like we have got an insanely stacked set of brackets here. Joreuz off the outside of the post. He's got Jack way back at the halfway line. Can he work it in? No. Bit too heavy on the second touch there, but the boost steal is going to give Joreuz the advantage.
Both players just showing off what they're capable of, but you don't want to be handing away ApparentlyJack's long clears that often. And he's going to have to start this play again from the very beginning. Expected to dive in. It did happen, but ApparentlyJack blasted himself into Joreuz. I mean, he was able to recover afterwards. So both players, 1 minute in, still looking for their major players. ApparentlyJack, he's got his wits about him today. He's not getting caught out by anything. Despite Joreuz going for a couple of dive-ins.
And you know, this qualifier matchup that we've referred to already between these two, it was a 1-goal game. 9-8 if I'm not mistaken, in Jack's favor. And he's coming in here, I believe, as the higher rated of the two in the 1v1 ladder. That's great read by Jack, not falling for Joreuz, faking the flick in this play. Already seeing a very evenly matched stand-up between these two. Lots of respect being shown to the dribbling ability. And you can see as well the respect in the defensive ability as both players shoot for only corners so far and have missed every single time.
Still nothing to separate them just yet. ApparentlyJack, he did miss the boost, so that means it's going to be a powered shot down the other side of the field. You don't want to be handing away goals that easily. That is going to be 1 goal up for Joreuz. And you spoke yesterday, Johnny, about how much pressure was on Khaled. I would make the argument that there is more pressure on this young lad today. Because, you know, a lot of arguments can be made to say that he got his position on this because people saw the potential in him off his ones gameplay. Now he's in this tournament. He is expected to be the one's dynamite for Dignitas, and he's going to have to perform. But as we saw yesterday, there is no such thing as a free matchup.
Yeah, this entire one's bracket is stacked top to bottom. We saw that yesterday. Exotic bringing Khaled all the way to Game 7. And again today in 2s with Astral and Chaussette getting the upset win. Still feels wrong that I'm saying that, Astral and Chaussette, as if they could ever not be favored in a matchup with such legendary players on the lineup. But that is the reality of Fusion EU. Every single game is going to be super difficult, very, very sweaty. Jack firing with confidence to equalize there. Can he get Joreuz's number in the air though? Joreuz having to use a lot of boost just to get on the underside of that. Jack respecting the bump on his exit as he retakes control of the ball.
He's done a good job opening up some angles here. Joreuz did a good job to keep it out, but Jack's quite happy to restart, and he's just realized Joreuz is hounding him to the other side of the field. A little bit lax from Jack, and he's had to try and deal with this when he needs 100 boost. He is going to get a hold of it, and Joreuz forced to back down.
Joreuz preferring to shadow today, but look at the power on Jack's flicks. This is going to be a problem for Joreuz if he keeps on shadowing in defense. But already 2 really, really quick flicks at the point where it's not savable with the reaction. That boost grab by Joreuz pushes Jack back, but the recovery is good. Joreuz still there though. Jack thought he'd left it. Well, he dishes it in off the back wall. 2-1, a low-scoring game. And in low-scoring games, how important are goals to separate the two players?
feels eerily similar to what we got yesterday between Khalid and Exotic. It's been a tame affair so far from both of these players. 2-1 now, though, for Joreuz. Jack takes the ball, but he realizes he's in a major deficit when it comes to boost. First time shot. Joreuz going to force himself to go for a second one. He's managed to fake out the save. Goes for the top corner. Jack can't make it there in time. This is a tough position for him to be in. He's on 0 boost, and there's only so long you can be in that state before the inevitable happens.
Joreuz just wearing him down here, even stealing the small pads, of course. The first touch left him all the options in the play. Great play at the near post by Joreuz. And he's 2 goals ahead. Jack's been threatening in this first game, but Joreuz getting the win, which will be his revenge for that loss he got in the qualifier. And, you know, if he can do that early on, I think that's going to take away any kind of nerves that he had coming into this one, any kind of advantage that Jack might have. Now, looks like Joreuz accidentally missed this one. He's given it straight to Jack, who walks it in. And that was uncharacteristic. Usually Joreuz is very accurate with these kind of plays.
Yeah, he just did not get the flick at the end at all. He got the wrong sort of flip. And that is a free goal to give over to Jack. Not what you want to be doing. There was still plenty of time for Jack to get back into this. But if you're Joreuz, you want him to at least try and work for it. Instead, hand it straight over to him. Apparently, Jack works himself with the 100 boost. He's turned immediately, and Joreuz is going to be forced to retreat. Opens up that space, looks for the flick, but Jack's had a few of these flicks so far. They haven't been on target, and when they have been, straight at Joreuz.
Yeah, he's had a couple of really scary flicks where he times it to perfection, but other ones really nowhere near as good. So it seems to be very hit or miss for Jack, no in between. That's a lot better. Joreuz with a great save, and he's recovering quickly now. Jack has to stay with this ball. No time to grab the mid boost. Joreuz saves 25. He's going to send a high ball just to get Jack out of the game for now. This is still a goal for Joreuz if he plays his far right here. Jack in a very awkward position, has to give Joreuz so much space just to equalize the boost advantage, and Joreuz sees him coming in. He's going to try for the flip reset, doesn't get the flick on the ball, but the goal is just as good.
And you know the clock had a huge part in Jack diving in for this play. Doesn't want Joreuz to keep playing the ball around whilst that time is ticking down. Let me just snatch away another free goal, and it is going to be the 2-goal lead re-established for the Dignitas player. This will definitely do a lot to calm down the nerves for Joreuz, although Jack needs to stop handing these away to him.
Yeah, he's not showing Joreuz sufficient respect in the play. Joreuz saved up so much boost on the kickoff. Really good play by him. Didn't really show his hand too early either. Jack didn't look like he knew how much boost Joreuz was working with. And that's probably game 1 in the books, so a revenge already. Joreuz going for the fake kickoff in the diagonal. Actually misses the boost in the corner though. And Jack again misses his flick, so looking like a bit more miss than hit later on in the game here. He's, you know, had some very fast flicks early on in this game, which had us hoping that there might be something for him. But overall, a pretty unsuccessful game when it comes to the flick department.
Yeah, even the ones that he is getting haven't been, you know, threatening enough for Joreuz where he's forced into an awkward angle afterwards. On the other side, how many times in this game 1 have we seen ApparentlyJack stuck on his own final third, completely boost starved, and Joreuz is slowly trying to pick away at shots? Although, wait a second here. Off the kickoff, he's got it within 1. Needs something big here, but ApparentlyJack's made something of this game.
Really interesting from Jack. He's making it close at the end here. Joreuz went for that backflip into the boost on the previous kickoff. He might be regretting that now after it really didn't pay off, and this is a great result for Jack. He can just take this into the middle with the dribble. Oh, that's a terrible first touch, so he loses control immediately, and after giving himself a chance, he will be very disappointed with how he played that one out.
There's a lot of room for both these players to move into for the rest of this series, which is not exactly uncommon. Throughout the last 8 days, it's been pretty normal that we see a first game that is light years different to what we end up seeing later on in the bracket or later on in the very same series. So for both of these players, this was sort of just getting the first game out of the way, get the first 5 minutes out of the way, start shaking out the nerves, making yourself feel a little bit more comfortable on the Neo Tokyo pitch. But this is the game where it starts to get important, though. Jack, you can't afford, even in a best of 7, to take too much time to start getting your points onto the board. He doesn't want to drop down by 2. against a player of Joreuz's caliber.
Oh, he's in
and
trouble.
Well, this is not the start. Was going to help prevent that eventuality.
He is definitely in trouble. You know, I think he's in more trouble than we might already realize. You know, giving up that game 1, he's lost all the momentum that he had from that qualifier win already. And it would have been nice to build on that instead of just giving it away. Especially because he did end up dropping the ball on a potential 0-second play. We all know what, you know, big swings those can be. We saw that in the Sandrock 2v2. Oh, wow, what a flick by Joreuz. He's up by 2. And this is precision from close range. He didn't even have 100 boost to work with.
I mean, he feints it out originally. It's just going to be a regular flick and just automatically transitions to the Musty.
That was
incredible.
I was going to say, you know, the 0-second play from Azrael in the 2v2 matchup just totally took the wind out of Sandrock's sails. And if Joreuz, or rather if Jack had pulled that off in game 1, sent it to overtime, we would really have been looking at a real series here with Jack showing up. But it looks like he's fallen apart after messing up there and giving up the 0-second play by just dropping the ball. There's that backflip on the kickoff. Joreuz is going to reach it in time. I think the hard counter for Jack to really go for is just to try and dribble him. We've seen that his dribbles can be pretty effective. Joreuz gambling that he can make a good save and then punish the low boost opponent that he would have, of course. Great wall shot. He's 4 up in 40 seconds. That's a pretty good goal to time ratio.
Okay, I am getting annoyed now by the comparisons between today and yesterday. Because we've had what was a tame first game, followed up by what is starting to look like a smashing in game 2. Unless apparently Jack can start turning this around. This is a good start off the kickoff. Doesn't choose to go for the 100, instead wants to take the first time play, but he's ended up losing it. And it's going to be Joreuz straight on the counter-attack. There's no way of saving this. Nothing working for the Stormtroopers player.
Yeah, Joreuz just firing at will right now. Per Will, what did he do to deserve this? 5 goals inside a minute. This is disastrous for Stormtroopers. Apparently Jack losing the 2v2 yesterday to Singularity and really couldn't be off to a worse start here, but like you said, this is kind of similar to what we saw yesterday.
I've not seen any of our players do that yet.
Oh, the multiple wave dash. Yeah, Joreuz.
Yeah, I've known it's been around, but Joreuz is the one that's utilizing it the most.
Yeah, he's very well known for this. Ridiculous mechanics from this guy, and a game sense as well to really match anybody. But finally, Jack hits one of the flicks into the goal. And, you know, this proves that if Joreuz is going to back off consistently, he's at least leaving himself to the mercy of a great flicker of the ball.
Yeah, Jack's had mixed success with this so far, but it's good to see that he's still going for it. If they do start hitting, then Joreuz is going to have to give him way more respect on those sort of plays, and now he's got an opportunity to make another, but that's no real venom on that flick. Still has plenty of boost to his own control, but he's out of true position control. Goes to the other corner. Joreuz, yep, he's going to back down here.
Yep.
Jack's played this very well defensively.
He's going straight at Joreuz. Look out for the bump. There it is. Joreuz being punished again for backing off. He's not challenging early on pretty much any play. In game 1, this worked because Jack kept hitting the post. He kept missing his flicks, hitting them slowly. But in game 2, that's 2 successful attacks in a row. Joreuz will need to step up here, start challenging with more aggression, in my opinion.
And Jack's got this within a regular 1v1 sort of scoreline for this sort of time. 3 goals, 3 minutes. You'd feel pretty confident that you can at least make that happen. Much better compared to 5 goals down. Now going to be played back to Joreuz's back corner. Apparently Jack gets the block, but a second touch from Joreuz. Gets it down to the other side of the field. And yeah, as you said, Joreuz does not want to be leaving this anymore. He's got to control these boosts, otherwise he does get forced to back off to midfield. So with Joreuz, this is all about just making sure he doesn't lose it as clean as that. Apparently Jack tries to chase the ball down. He's turned it in on target. He's got him within 2.
And that is very interesting. We've seen the immediate adaptation from Joreuz that we were talking about. You know, he can't back off all the time against Jack if Jack's hitting these shots as scarily as he was. But if Joreuz is going to try and play more aggressively, if he's going to try and challenge the ball earlier, he needs to be careful and calculated with his approach, which he wasn't on that occasion. Joreuz still has his flip available to him. Jack already eliminated the threat and stays away from the bump very well. Reads where Joreuz is going to hit the ball to the next
He's on nothing.
touch as well. Joreuz backed off. He's got a couple of boost pads to work with, and Jack really should have scored there. He still might. Joreuz double save.
That is a huge let-off for Joreuz. He was on nothing for the longest time. He's still on in such a low amount. There's no major boost. He's had to try and pick up some of the poverty. Gets a little bit over the top corner, but it's another incredible save. Now off the wall, first time shot, and Jack won't reach it. Joreuz staves off the offensive onslaught, and he's put himself back up by 3.
That is huge. Joreuz with a save that might have just saved this game for him, as Jack was coming back in this one. Can he stabilize again? That's got to be frustrating in a play where you really think you deserved a goal, or really think that you should be scoring a goal. To have your opponent save multiple shots, hang on, and then just bang in a wall shot first time of asking. Really difficult spot here for Jack. The underdog coming into this one. Certainly now after we've seen a game and a half. Very much so.
Jack will not want to leave this play, but Joreuz is equally aware that he needs to make contact. Just allowing Jack to outplay himself, slowly walks the ball into the net. I mean, Jack's got no choice here. He needs to keep this ball in the orange side of the field. Joreuz just takes his time.
You know, we saw the same problem in the last series with Sandrock and Oxiden, the 0-second goal that I keep talking to that Astral scored. Had Amma just driven into the ball, this would never have happened. And it's kind of the same thing with every dribbling play that can be a flick or a fake. If you just get goal side and flip through the ball, you're blocking both. And Jack didn't get goal side before flipping away from the ball there, so really did everything wrong.
This is too much power for 0 boost.
Yeah, he's very good at smashing every single shot, keeping the threat alive. Here it is again. This is just open for Joreuz if he hits the right target, and he will. And Jack needs to respect these shots. He's just not missing them today. Joreuz, every single time he's given one of these chances, just hits it straight into the goal. No questions asked. Even if part of the goal is covered, he just hits the other part.
Yeah, this shooting from Joreuz is got to be respected by ApparentlyJack, and the horrible thing is he can't afford to respect it right now. He needs 5 goals in 70 seconds. If he gets any of these wrong, he's going to open up that sort of space yet again.
Done.
But for ApparentlyJack, the only space he needs is that top corner.
That was very good placement by Jack. He picked a shot across the goal and actually came underneath it to shoot it in the top left corner as he's looking at the goal. Joreuz was unable to read that one. Very difficult position to be in if you're up against someone who can pick their spot like Jack can in this second game.
Ooh, went for the fake. Just tried to block the ball on the way past. Joreuz looking to lock down that midfield. He's picked up the 100 boost. Neutral kickoff, or neutral block. Ends up being the worst possible thing right now for ApparentlyJack. He does not want to be dropping down by 2 here, but he might not be having much of a choice in the fact. Joreuz back to his own side of the field. He doesn't notice that ApparentlyJack's trying to race down with him. It's not when he was originally trying to play the ball. But 4 goals difference, 35 seconds left. Maybe Joreuz is about to make this up another one. Nope. ApparentlyJack can now try and turn this one around, but that is an awful bounce for him. No momentum for him to work with to get the counter-attack going.
He's definitely all in on this play. Wave dash and the bump, and the ball swiftly follows. Fantastic stuff by Jack. He might have given himself a difficult comeback at the end of the game. That's a good start.
Absolutely is. He would have wanted it to be a little bit more direct, save those precious few seconds off that clock. He's got to be kickoffs now, and we know Joreuz is more than happy to change kickoff styles, but ApparentlyJack equally happy to respond in kind within 2.
And you know, this didn't work the last time he tried it, but I still like the idea. These kind of mixed up kickoffs are a necessity. If you're multiple goals down with only 30 or so seconds left in the game, Jack is giving himself a chance.
Joreuz, though, he's got this one to go over to him. He's got plenty of room to work with, but Jack will be trying to hound him. And yeah, all the way to the other side of the field. Jack would have to dive in. He's gone for it. It's gone quite well for him, but that is an awkward bounce. Second touch. ApparentlyJack went for the highlight reel. It won't happen, but ApparentlyJack again. He looks solid in these last minutes. It's just, he's given himself too much work to do yet again.
Yeah, it was just too much to do in too little time. But you've got to say, these comebacks are impressive. The fact that he's able to keep the chance alive is more than I expected from either of these games. And it's good adaptation of the kickoffs at the end of the game, keeping Joreuz guessing. Now, it's all, in my opinion, for Jack about trying to limit the free goals that Joreuz is getting in the matchup. Joreuz is just scoring so many long shots and so many open nets because Jack's just not respecting the counterattack. He's not respecting the clears. If he can start to do that, then maybe there's a chance for him here. But realistically, Joreuz is getting the win that we all expected him to get. Just a wonder about whether we are going to see the repeat of yesterday where the underdog comes back and starts to make it a close series.
So I could do have seen that right now. Apparently Jack, though, hasn't shown us the level of flair that we got from Exotic. Exotic overwhelmed Khaled at times just through crazy plays that Khaled just didn't quite know how to work with. Apparently Jack so far has not exactly been one-dimensional, but he's got a certain repertoire of plays that he likes to go into, and controlling the field is definitely one of them. Unfortunately, controlling the field is not going to work with someone that can hit the ball as clean and is as good at, you know, field generalship as Joreuz.
Yeah, Jack just has to really step it up with his shot difficulty. I'm impressed with his shooting and his flicking, but there's probably something more there that he needs to go for if he's going to really put some pressure on Joreuz defensively. Joreuz does look comfortable. Yeah, one of the other keys to Exotic's success yesterday against Khaled in the middle of that series was just trying to stop Khaled from scoring so many goals. And that's, you know, what Jack's going to try to do here. Somehow Joreuz has worked a shot almost on target from a really impossible position. And Jack will turn it around. Joreuz with multiple wave dashes in the wall again. No boost though, and Jack's able to seal away the corner one. I think he knows that he's got Joreuz in an awkward position.
Yeah, there's a certain moment where it starts to click. And it's definitely clicked right now for ApparentlyJack. Trying to find one more way through. It's overdone on the flick. Did manage to steal more boost. There's going to be a point where Joreuz has to commit, and he's gone for it this time around. And Joreuz somehow able to survive. Tries to put the ball over the top of ApparentlyJack. Follow-up shot is just off the crossbar. And ApparentlyJack has had so long here, but he needs to get something from this offensive play. Finally!
Oh my goodness!
Joreuz is incredible!
What saves by Joreuz? He is frustrating Jack. Now surely a goal has to be coming at some point. Jack has had so many opportunities. He must be getting frustrated as he just continues to shoot for only top corners and misses by such narrow margins. Is that the wall shot goal that we've been seeing all day? Well, not as simple as before. It's a double touch. Oh my goodness. Joreuz hangs on for a long, long time and smashes one in the first chance he gets.
That is one of the most incredible defensive plays I've seen. He was on nothing, nil point, for the entirety of that play, and the moment he picks up 100, he catches Jack and Jack, after all that hard work, just simply overpowers him for his first goal this game.
That's a really good read by Jack. He just anticipated that Joreuz wasn't actually going to do anything, and he just chips it on target. And it's so funny after all these heroic saves from Joreuz that he lets in a simple shot that you'd see all the way down in silver. Somebody just driving into the ball. Is this going to be
anyone's
two?
going to clip all of that. We don't clip the bit afterwards. It
you
very
make
much
sure
ruins the moment.
Yeah, we want to make Joreuz look as good as possible, of course. I'm sure Jack does as well, because he'd rather lose, if he is going to lose, to a Joreuz who is playing well, like he is. It's about finding that combination of accuracy and speed from Jack. It looks like the more power he adds to his flicks, the less accurate they become. It makes sense. But if he can start to nail them, then he's going to be very difficult to stop. And these bumps that he's weaving in every now and then are very threatening, and it's forcing Joreuz to think more about challenging early. Because as I keep saying, if you back off into your net, you're leaving yourself wide open for this kind of play.
Well, that's a very good little combination that Jack can try and put together, because he can posture for both, really. He can posture for both a flick and to try and put himself up for the air dribble. So, for ApparentlyJack, as long as he can set himself up in that position, Joreuz is more likely than not going to try and respect the bump. What
are they going to reverse? No way, they're not going to.
Go on. Yeah, there we go.
Oh, this is so silly. Neither player wants to leave the ball and give the other player the free possession, but somebody has to do it. It's probably Joreuz who has to do it because he's losing by a goal here. I've never seen the reverse in this play. We've seen the following of the ball all the way into the sidewall before. But to do it backwards That's brand new. And Joreuz hits him with the revenge and the apology in chat. Jack apparently doesn't have a problem with it, but he does have a problem with the current scoreline and how it's moving.
Joreuz doing exactly what we've seen ApparentlyJack do to get his second goal, where he shows the hand of a goal that he's previously scored and then just changes it immediately following. Both these players showing exactly how much you've got to adapt in one of these 1v1 series. Here we go, Jack, one more time.
He's done it.
A gorgeous flick. Went for a quicker version this time around, and it was the right choice.
Yeah, when he hits his flicks, he looks really, really good at them. It's been so on and off all day, but that was unstoppable. And if he can get a few more of these, Joreuz is in trouble here. There's not too much time left. It's just like game one with not many goals being scored, but Joreuz, big kickoff win. Shoots it first time, and it's past Jack for 3-3. Poor Jack just can't catch a break. Joreuz is right there with him on every single play.
Yeah, I mean, by the time Jack has managed to recover, Joreuz is already picking up the 100 boost. If you're in Jack's position, there is just nothing you are going to be able to do after that. He needs to try and just pop off a little bit more. Maybe set himself up for those follow-up boosts. We are at a 3 each. And, well, this is absolutely must win for ApparentlyJack. Cannot be dropping down to 4 match points to someone of Joreuz's capabilities.
Hang on.
A good setup bump. Goes for the first time shot, however. And that's handing the ball away to Joreuz up the wall. Jack feigning that he's going to go for it first time. Instead, takes it down second. It's bouncing. It's awkward. It's over the top of Joreuz. Jack tries to follow.
Oh!
And it was almost an incredible pre-flip to catch it on the rear end of the animation. Now Joreuz, he's just going to pick one up for free because Jack, and yeah, you can see on his camera, he knows he did it wrong.
Yeah, he tried to pinch this to safety, which is the right play. He doesn't want to give Joreuz a free wall shot or a free air dribble set up off the sidewall. But if you're going to commit that hard to pinching the ball with, you know, no immediate recovery, you have to land it. Jack didn't do it that time.
We have no way of being able to check, you know, body language whenever we do online casts, but you can tell quite a bit just by seeing how much the look back button is being spammed. Joreuz gonna pick himself up. Getting that. Oh, he's missed it. Okay.
Wow.
Well, he is human, and despite some of the heroic displays that we saw earlier on, just ends up missing the open net, and it's still only a 1-goal lead for Joreuz. That was the chance to finish this game off.
Yeah, he could have put it beyond pretty much any doubt except a kickoff goal. That's a good challenge, though. Joreuz knew Jack would take his time on this one. He just steps right in. There is one more play to deal with, though. Jack coming straight down the middle. He goes for the top corner flick. It's off target. Goes for the keep it up in the air, but Joreuz is one step ahead. And he does take the 3-0 lead in the series. It's been close. These games have been interesting, but unfortunately for Jack, he's been on the wrong side of every single one of them, and Joreuz is marching towards that win that we all expected.
Okay, Johnny, I'm going to put you in a this or that situation here.
Okay.
Play of the game. Joreuz's defensive stand or the little dance that we got in the middle of the field?
Yeah, it's got to be the standoff.
It's the dance, isn't it?
Yeah, it's got to be that standoff. I love it. The reverse is something I've never seen. Joreuz knew that he had to break that tie, though, because he was down by 1 when that happened. The longer that Jack can keep that going, the better. But it just wasn't meant to be. This is a really interesting game, though, because we did see Joreuz just playing goalie for so long and doing really well with it. And, you know, we don't always get to see this from Joreuz, because sometimes he does just start to dominate matchups and he's constantly attacking and just piling on the pressure. But he's really evolved into a very versatile player. He can play the defensive role, he can play the offensive role. I'm looking forward to seeing more from him this tournament. Maybe he'll match up differently against someone later on. But he's got to stay focused for now, because Jack isn't done yet. And you know, you can never say never, especially in 1v1. He's got to get it started pretty soon.
Jack's overall gameplay so far, he's had a set gameplay plan. This is all down to his own execution. And at times, his execution, especially on the flicks, has been phenomenal. And at others, it has been his own downfall that has led to Joreuz being able to get those counter-attacking shots. So right now, a lot of it, especially with Joreuz playing as much defense as he has been, could very well be down to the offense of ApparentlyJack. And if he's going to play it as smart as this, could very well at least pull back 1 game for himself.
Yeah, Jack just has to pick his spots like this. He has to try and not overextend while doing so, because when Joreuz gets a really good save and the ball rolls off to the side of the field, and he can land on that corner boost in defense, that is pretty much a goal every single time we've seen it happen. Jack just can't recover fast enough to catch up with Joreuz power shots. He's got the reset here, but nice save by Jack, who stayed all the way at the back post there. Had a good reading where Joreuz was planning to shoot the ball. And once again, Jack has space to work with, and he puts it far post. He's definitely got the power and the accuracy. Just the consistency that's been missing today, but so far so good in game 4.
Look at that. You are not getting anywhere near. Joreuz definitely tried. This is what I mentioned. It seems at times like it's going to be ApparentlyJack's ability to execute versus that defense, but that defense has had nothing to say so far. ApparentlyJack is heading to game 4, and he is coming in determined to get a win.
Yeah, great start here by Jack. There's a long way to go, and he has to stay focused here. We saw this earlier on from Joreuz game 2. He was off to a 5-goal lead before Jack started to respond. And I do think that Joreuz is going to have more comeback potential in the matchup. He's such a smart player, and he's very good at picking the spots when he figures out exactly what his opponent is doing. But Jack's actually taking a clean out of the game here. That's another open net. We're going to see a 4-goal lead. Not as quick as Joreuz's 4-goal lead in game 2, but still looking good for him. Not done yet, not by any stretch of the imagination.
And Jack's going to be happy with this because that 4-goal lead, as it ticks along, means that he can slow down the pace more and more. He can start playing a little bit more controlled on the ball, and he's been given time for it at times. You know, Joreuz has enjoyed backing down even when he's had some offensive pressure. He can't get to this shot either. 5 goals to the better, and ApparentlyJack, I don't think any of us saw this lead happening, but he's definitely managed to make the most of it.
This is so efficient from Jack. Every single play, he's just getting right to the action, just skipping all the nonsense, just putting a dangerous shot on target. You wonder, where was this kind of deadliness earlier on in the series? Where was the confidence? Maybe at this point he's realized, well, we might as well just go all in. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work, but I'd rather go out playing as fast as you want to play than second-guessing yourself on every second play. Great start, and still looking very solid in game number 4. Jack has full control here. He's kind of toying with Joreuz at times, forcing him to do his bidding.
Absolutely is. Joreuz is all over the pitch right now, but very little of it has actually affected ApparentlyJack. Jack postured to go into that pinch again. It didn't work for him last time. I don't disagree with not going for it. Definitely managed to pull Joreuz off his first time move. So when it's done here, Joreuz still left to nothing on his name.
Oh!
Boost. He's trying his hardest just to trip him up. Didn't quite get it. Joreuz looking for his first. He's got the reset.
Oh, what?
Goes low. What a lovely fake. That's one.
Well, I wonder if he meant this one, because it looked like Joreuz was trying to set up a quick flick on the ball. But as he looped around, he kind of just tapped it with the underside of the car. It took the speed off it, in fact. And obviously that made it much harder to save. There's just really no way you're going to read that one. But Joreuz is always going to be threatening from these kind of positions. Very willing and very able to make shots on target from high off the wall, even if he is all the way back in his own half.
Joreuz in a good spot to try and work this. Put the ball straight, though, over to ApparentlyJack, who's going to want to try and trip Joreuz up on the way. Once again, it's a good little play here from ApparentlyJack. He's got that 5-goal lead back.
Yeah, really good tripping. We saw this in the back corner as well. And again, Jack just gets underneath Joreuz. And you never really know. When you're getting caught by your opponent like this, your car does sometimes just fall over. Any direction that you decide to steer into can be exaggerated tenfold. Now, there's still time for Joreuz. ApparentlyJack needs to stay very, very focused here. Well, that would have been exquisite. Not sure how Joreuz is going to get that one on target. Not even he was able to. Jack with no boost in the back corner, though. Very difficult position. Joreuz air dribbles over the top and into the crossbar, though. Time is running out. This is got to be pretty soon, I'd say, for Joreuz to get a goal. He's not making it easy on himself with these setups. Misses once again.
No, the one thing that Joreuz hasn't had to do so far is attack a still goal line. And definitely something that he seems to be struggling with in this game. ApparentlyJack just happy to sit back And how nice has it got to be for him to be able to be the person shooting from the halfway line and actually getting a goal?
Bit of role reversal there, but it's more likely to happen if Joreuz is down by several goals. He's more likely to take a big risk in offense and get punished for it. Those risks are necessary if you're going to make a 5-goal comeback. Make it 6 almost. Jack's flicks have really gotten better and better as this series has gone on. Credit to him. He's not dropping off in quality just because this has been a one-sided series. Double reset by Joreuz. He misses the third touch on the ball, and Jack is going to get another free goal. And that should do it here. 7 goals, even for Joreuz. Probably going to be too much to come back from.
Yeah, unless apparently Jack now wants to start testing out new kickoff technology, he should have this game in the bag. And it's been impressive, to be honest. It's also a good showing of how apparently Jack was able to play the game once he gets that 4-goal lead, because that lead is dangerous, especially when you are so early in the game, because you start questioning how you actually want to approach the rest of the matchup. Do I want to play defensive? Do I want to just keep trying to attack? And apparently Jack did not encounter any of those mentality problems at all this game. He just locked it down, kept on scoring, forced Joreuz to take more risks than we would typically see from him, and kept scoring off the open net.
You got to wonder as well, how much does Joreuz really want to show to Jack in this attempted comeback, since it is almost certainly over already. He'd probably like to save something for the last game. Well, I guess he disagrees because he's trying again for the reset and the mind game underneath him.
Yeah, if you're going to leave something for the next game, this would have been a good one to have
this
in the
would have been a pretty good thing to save, I would say. I'm not sure if pulling that one out in a 7-goal deficit with 1 minute left is a good idea. Joreuz is having some fun with this one. He's just trying to warm up for the next game.
Off the ceiling, here we go again. Joreuz realizes this game is beyond him, so it becomes an exhibition of shots.
Yeah, these are all viable shots.
Let's see the banger. Oh,
it's definitely good enough.
I like Apparently Jack's style. Like, even, no matter how far ahead you are, especially in a series that has gone like this, no matter how much Joreuz is sort of playing this now for style points, keep scoring.
Absolutely.
Let it know that you are still keeping that sharpshooter eye in and making sure you keep hitting those shots.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree more. Jack should just try and take this opportunity to beat Joreuz as badly as possible. Try to tilt him before the next game. It's unlikely to work because Joreuz is so experienced and he's been in these kind of positions before, knows how to close out a series. But any goals are going to help Jack's confidence going into the next game. Just keep him warmed up, keep him focused. And, you know, it's the best look so far by a mile. Joreuz went for it. He's never going to hold back. These are actually viable shots for him to be doing. The kind of things that we're seeing from him today are not unexpected. Even in a close game, I wouldn't be surprised to see Joreuz making flip reset attempts as difficult as the ones he's been doing. So his recoveries are so good and his consistency is definitely there with these difficult shots that they're viable in pretty much any position for him, and a lot of other top ones players as well these days. Oh my goodness, look at this.
Jack pre-jumped this about 2 years ago.
Yeah, he did. He didn't fly much forward though. He's kind of just hovering on the spot. I'm not sure if he's trying to get a passing play going. But with the space he was given, Joreuz gets a very nice recovery on the ceiling, slams it in, still way too far back to even think about getting the comeback in this one, of course. No sweep today either, as we see the 1v1 underdogs fighting back, even if they are really up against it. So credit to Jack. Would have been very easy to just roll over and get 4-0'd here. But that's not the kind of player he is.
No, do you know what I actually quite like about Jack's play on that previous goal is it reminds me an awful lot of, you know, when you see footballers do free kicks and they've got those like cardboard cutouts or like cutouts of like that's what Jack was doing. He was jumping into midair, just sort of giving a bit of an obstacle, you know, not intending to get it, just sort of saying, hey, I'm here, let's make it a little bit more difficult for you.
Yeah, that's really all he's got to try and do in this matchup. It's obviously a really losing position for Jack, but if he can just make this difficult for Joreuz, like you said, then maybe Joreuz level starts to fall off. We saw in the qualifiers he didn't get the win when it mattered in that one game. If Jack can just make it to that stage in this series again, then I'd say this is like a great chance for him. But he has to just try and make this difficult until we get to that moment. Then maybe you can, you know, go for a pop-off just go all in. But for now, want to see more of the same from Jack. Just solid defense. Got to show respect to Joreuz's ability. But, you know, the confidence in offense is also brilliant to see.
So opening minute can be so important as well. Both these players have had a couple of games now where one person's taken an early lead and they've just been unassailable as we move on later in the game. That is gorgeous from Joreuz. Realized he couldn't get it first time, set himself up, and that is just as powerful as you can hit it.
Yeah, really good save there. On what looked like it was going to be a lost play. Joreuz missing a lot of power on his first touch, but he got under the ball, kept it moving to stay away from Jack. There's that fake kickoff again. Jack didn't see it coming. He gives away the ball. So, you know, so far it's working out pretty well, I would say, for Joreuz. This little backflip into the corner boost. Nobody else does this. But unless Jack starts to see it coming, save some boost on the kickoff, and actually attempt a scary dribble, Joreuz is going to keep going for it.
Okay, so you mentioned in the last game, Johnny, how you didn't want Joreuz to show off too many of his cards. He didn't go for the fake kickoff once last game, no matter how far he was behind. So that kept that fresh coming into game number, I think we're on game 5 now?
Yep.
So that was smart. At the very least, he took your advice when it comes to kickoffs.
Yeah, that is absolutely huge. You know, hiding a kickoff strategy in an already lost game is very important in my opinion. I've seen it happen in the past where a player will be way back in a series. Great save by Joreuz here. Has some more work to do. You know, being all the way back in a series there and then showing a kickoff that maybe could have caught your opponent off guard in the next game is definitely a misplay in my opinion. But Joreuz didn't do that. He saved it to the last second. Or wait until the next game and then pulls it out of the bag, gets a goal off it.
This is a good position for Joreuz to be in. ApparentlyJack forced to take the mid boost. Joreuz adding a couple of extra steps to this play. One step too many, but the big step was put onto ApparentlyJack as he booted him across the field. Jack is able to recover. Tries to put him in that awkward position here. We talked about Jack needs to keep posturing that he can go for that flick at any moment because Joreuz is being forced to respect it. He's being forced to back down on it. And very rarely is he trying to dive in. This is a good position for Jack to be in should he be able to set up that play.
Yeah, and he's got a whole variety of plays that he could be going for if he keeps on threatening those flicks. The one thing I would like to see from Jack, a lot of 1v1 fans and people who watch my channel a lot will already know what I'm going to say, is more variety on the dribbling approach. He's not giving himself angles to work with. A lot of the times he's arriving at Joreuz's goal and he's got very small angles to work with when he's trying to shoot to the top corners. He just gives himself a bit more of an angle to play with in the approach, then he's actually got more goal to shoot at and less coverage from Joreuz.
Jack wants to get this back to 2 each, but did he go forward a little bit too far? Joreuz just hounding straight down the side of the pitch. Backs down just a little bit, and here's the difference between the two players. Joreuz has been happy to back down whenever we've seen ApparentlyJack go for that. On the other side, ApparentlyJack does not want to be giving away that sort of space. Jack over the top. It's awkward, and Joreuz didn't get there.
That's surprising. You'd expect Joreuz to calculate this one properly, but he's just gone a bit too far forward, and Jack nailed the power shot. Huge goal there to tie things up. Just keeping Joreuz honest. These goals always just tell your opponent, well, you better think twice about pressuring high up the field because at any second there could be a power shot flying towards your goal. And this time Jack has not got enough respect for Joreuz's speed. He beats him to it and sends in the winning goal.
And if you see it from Joreuz's angle, he sees it. Like, it's very obvious when Jack starts cutting in that Joreuz can jump for it. He doesn't even have to try and play it if it ends up being that Jack isn't going to go for the challenge. I think that was a terrible decision for Jack to go and turn for that one, even if Joreuz didn't see it.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, you've got to be more careful. It's what I said in the last game. Just try to play safe right up until we get into that tie series. I think the risk can be saved till then for Jack. It is really the problem earlier on in the games he's losing, in my opinion, where he's just leaking too many free goals. Joreuz actually misplaying a few times in this last game. Shows promise for Jack. Maybe there is an option for him to just play off these mistakes, get another goal, and then just hang on.
And for Joreuz, these flashy plays have either been all or nothing a lot of the time. Execution has sometimes been off, but for ApparentlyJack, air dribble bumps.
Wow.
Execution has consistently been on.
Yeah, he's not doing this too often to have Joreuz expect it, but every time Jack does this, he is on point with him. I think we've only seen him miss Joreuz on one of these plays. So really fantastic result for him again. And like I said, if he just saves it for once in a blue moon, then Joreuz isn't going to see it coming. It's saved by Jack. Joreuz actually forced to leave this one alone, and this is a position that we're talking about. If Jack can just hang on now, if he can just avoid any mistakes, and he's given himself a chance at least.
Certainly has. Joreuz after a wonder block. Tries to turn inwards. It wasn't the best first touch though. Apparently Jack just wipes him out for it. Jack's got time to set up here, and Joreuz, well, he didn't convince him at all. The fake challenge up to the air, plenty of space to work with, but you saw Joreuz, as soon as he saw Jack take to the air, immediately added angle to his retreat back, and it's ended up working well. Apparently Jack as well, he's done a weird stutter step, and he's nowhere near the save.
He must have thought he was going to get to that boost in the corner, or just misread where Joreuz was going, because that turn made absolutely no sense for Jack. He gave himself no chance getting to the ball first. Obviously, he would have been in a difficult position either way because he had his back to the ball and Joreuz is about to shoot from close range, but at least it would have been better than leaving his net wide open for Joreuz to shoot into. Joreuz takes to the air. That's a really high takeoff. He didn't get as hard of a landing on the ceiling as he wanted, though. Didn't bounce down onto the direction the ball was in. Jack gives it straight back. The recovery by Joreuz is on point. Jack steals the ball, though. Very tense ending to the game. Jack knows the back corner boost is spawning, grabs it, and he's probably going to get Joreuz to back up. No, Joreuz sticks around, and that caught Jack off guard. Double touch for the 1-goal lead. And Joreuz just needs this game, and he's got this series in the bag. He had so much boost left over, more than Jack expected, and he nails the double from close range.
And that is the second time in a row Jack has been caught off by how aggressive Joreuz is being. Needs a goal within the next 48 seconds, and this kickoff does not help. Bounces perfectly for Joreuz to start setting up afterwards. He takes to the air, goes for the far side, but Jack, perfect block. That should be another one for him. Joreuz wanted to put it far side. ApparentlyJack read it the whole way.
Yeah, really nice coverage there by Jack. Like I said earlier, if you can block the mind game and the shot with the same approach, then you're doing a pretty good job, and that's what Jack did this time. Joreuz, like I said earlier in the series, he is willing to make these risky plays. He trusts himself in offense, even if he is only a goal ahead. We saw this plenty of times when he was winning by a load of goals. Now we see it when he's 1 goal up. Will he live to regret that, though? Because now here comes Jack looking pretty scary. Oh, he's hit the post and the bar, and what a recovery by Joreuz.
To the other side of the field, Joreuz turns inwards. He's got the 100. Jack's back down a little bit. He's going to be forced to try and take on a play, but this is how he got the goal back last time. Looks for another one, but Joreuz gets there on time, is not demoed on the way back, and now apparently Jack's got to give him a lot of space. He's trying to show off that maybe he could turn for it, but he was never really going to. Wanted to wait for the shot.
It's so tense here at the end of the game, but I think we may have overtime. It's not bouncing up, and this could be the last overtime of the series. Jack needs a win here. Joreuz tried for the delayed kickoff. It didn't pay off. Advantage for Jack early on. It sat up quite nicely for him, but Joreuz is all over him. Jack can't catch up with the demo. Boost steal for Joreuz. He might be able to trip up Jack here. Oh, Jack's just running away from the demo, and he puts the shot on target. Joreuz thought he could catch him, but Jack's too fast.
Jack just figured this out so quickly. As soon as he lands, he's on retreat. Brilliant heads-up play from ApparentlyJack. He's got 2 games in a row, and now he needs 2 more.
This is interesting. It's just like yesterday, right when you thought that it was all over, when it looked like the higher-seeded player was just going to walk right on through. Fusion EU keeps on delivering, but this is still such a difficult position for Jack. He's had to work so hard for that one. It was nothing like the first win that he got. It looks like Joreuz is, taking him seriously. He's taking the comeback seriously. But Jack, with a good start in this game, could swing the momentum so far into his favor. Joreuz probably a little bit tilted that he didn't get the demo at the end of the last game. I know I would be. We're right back to a reset. Who's it going to be in game number 6?
I feel like a lot of this series now comes down to how well ApparentlyJack is reading the game. When he's got the right read on, he is so quick to act. But we've seen a few occasions in the last game where you can get it also very wrong, and because he likes to trust his first instinct, as you have to in this game, you know, it just completely sends him off course. So it's going to be up to him here to make sure that his Rocket League IQ is on point, and that he tries to stay away from Joreuz, who I'm sure would love to get a bump goal after how the last one played.
What?
Oh, and Joreuz has ended up missing here.
What?
Well, you talked a few games ago, Johnny, about how the end of a game can start spelling out how the rest of the series goes.
Well,
Joreuz needs a good start here.
I mean, Jack had given up on the play. He thought, oh, for goodness sake, I've gone for a boost when I should have stayed with the ball. Didn't realize that Joreuz was just about to shoot. And then Joreuz, thinking Jack could be right behind him, panicked and threw away the golden opportunity. We should be seeing a goal here. Jack does exactly what we asked him to do. He starts to give a bit of lateral movement to his dribbling plays, and Joreuz is not going to have an easy time saving these.
ApparentlyJack is adding extra things to his repertoire in this series. For Joreuz, he's got to find some way to stop this momentum. 2 wins will start getting you thinking that you can actually do this. This is not a good spot for Jack to be in. Joreuz slows the pace down. What's the low challenge? That is well played from Joreuz. And he doesn't let ApparentlyJack get out of reach.
Yeah, great read by Joreuz. He didn't have a lot of boost either. Instead of risking the flick, he just gets solidly behind the ball. Jack, in an awkward position in the middle of the net, couldn't get behind it himself. And ended up bouncing over the top as Joreuz equalizes. Still, such a tense game. This could be the one that decides it, because, you know, we talk about how reverse sweeps, especially in a best of 7, can be hugely difficult to stop once they get rolling. Well, how about in a 1v1? Oh, Joreuz just slams a flip reset shot top shelf, rather. And that gave Jack no chance of getting back. The power that Joreuz gets from that position, just unbelievable.
He just drops down perfectly on it. It was the case of it looked like he was going to fly in front of the ball. Instead, as soon as he got the reset, he just stalled entirely. Ended up dropping just below it. There we go. Joreuz up by 1 here in a game that, if he takes it, puts Dignitas through to the semi-finals of our 1v1 bracket. And puts Stormtroopers out of their second. ApparentlyJack, though, going to try and do everything he can to prevent that. Up to the air with those flicks. And good old Trusty is still working well.
He just delayed this one, set himself, and then just flipped straight through the ball for massive acceleration. And Joreuz needs to keep on switching up his defense. He's not going to win this, backing off every time. 2 each. What a close series this is becoming. Somebody's just tuning in. They never guessed that this was 2 games in a row at the moment for Jack. So we almost have that little awkward side to side that we had earlier with both players wanting to stay with the ball. Boost not spawning for a while, but Jack got bumped in that play. Joreuz with the open net. Has he missed this? No, it's going to sneak in off the corner. Man, Joreuz really playing that one a bit too close for comfort. Good bump in defense, though.
Yeah, that was such an awful landing for ApparentlyJack. You know, 1 minute he's facing onwards, second moment he's facing sideways. Ends up using a bunch of boost as well and ruins his own momentum on the recovery. So there we go. Joreuz reestablishes that 1-goal lead. For him, though, he'll like to try and put that up to 2. But ApparentlyJack's offense right now, that can be incredibly difficult. Joreuz tries it. He delays the challenge. Jumped in first time.
Wow.
Didn't get the pinch he was quite after. And that's ball straight back over to ApparentlyJack.
Jack trying to keep Joreuz in his sight here so he can see the turn and challenge. He does well. This is really important on the play. You notice Jack is trying to get the ball straight to the right of Joreuz. As soon as he turns around, he can pop it. And he hits his incoming challenge with a counterplay. He probably knew that was coming already, because Joreuz hasn't been too successful backing off and shadowing all the way to his own goal. Jack anticipated the change up, stayed 1 step ahead. He can go 1 goal ahead here, but the flick lets him down.
Yeah, he's got a decent amount of boost, though. He stole so many of the 12s. Now he's stolen the 100. No, instead he leaves it. He wants the first time play. Okay, Jack just didn't get the pathing he was after this time around. Yeah, the ball bounced in such a... It's that awkward spacing where you want to try and snatch through both of them. But, you know, ends up having to just pick one or the other, and boost Came first
Oh,
on that
wow.
one, apparently. That's off,
missed.
isn't it? That is off. No,
Oh, it's just in.
No.
Wow, so Joreuz, after getting bumped, recovers immediately and slams in another wall shot. You know, his open accuracy is not looking as confident as it did earlier in the series.
I think saying slamming that one in is giving it too much credit.
Yeah, perhaps, but you know, you just got bumped into that wall position, so to stay composed and to hit that play on target is impressive. And that's a great save, double touch save by Jack. 2 times into the bar. Now Joreuz thinks, so I'm going to give that one a go as well. And he's given the ball away. Joreuz is throwing away game 6 rather. He might be throwing away this series. That's not just one bad miss, but completely underhits the controlling touch.
Yeah, he knows exactly where Jack is. But he needs way more power. From the looks of it, he wanted to play it into his, into the wall, into his own corner, so he could try and play defensively after that. But on a rare occasion, Joreuz just mishits the ball entirely. And this one needed to be on target. Jack wouldn't have made it back in time unless he was able to get the first time double jump save. Still 4 each, and we're heading into the clutch moments of Game 6. Joreuz looking to try and put this one away. ApparentlyJack looking for Game 7.
Joreuz miscontrols it, but he might play for the demo again. He's thinking about it, but Jack keeps himself and the ball away from danger. Joreuz still heavy favorite from this position. Slams on target. That's a better result for Jack. He's able to stay outside of the goal, so he'll get behind it. No boost for him, though. Joreuz stealing everything, even the 12s. And now Jack is forced to retreat. Joreuz looking pretty early, though. He doesn't look too confident in his play at the moment. We saw an early flick on that one. We saw an early shot in the previous one. Joreuz is not taking his time like he did before. Jack almost had it over him there. This is tense stuff. Joreuz is not looking anywhere near as composed as I thought he would be.
Yeah, this is a full-on scramble at this point.
Oh
and
my
Joreuz
goodness!
Hasn't got the save! ApparentlyJack 36 seconds away from sending us to Game 7.
Oh my goodness. Joreuz with the choke. He's just flipped the wrong way. This was a routine save for him. Obviously, Jack would have been able to retake control of the ball. Can Joreuz redeem himself? He's given away possession again. Jack going to stay with it. Force Joreuz back into the corner. Still, though, you'd put your money on Joreuz from these positions, and it's just not working. That's almost bounced in. He needs a goal to send us into the semi-finals. If not, we are going to Game 7. Joreuz with the bump, but Jack with the huge save. And he can just win this right now. I think he did it. Oh my goodness, Shogun. We're going to Game 7. And that is something I never would have expected after seeing even Game 2 here.
Wow. ApparentlyJack is pulling up some of the best performances of his life, but at the same time, these last 2 goals have been avoidable for Joreuz. He wants this off the kickoff. He needs it off the kickoff.
Oh!
He's got one more chance at this.
Oh, it's not over yet. Maybe I called it too soon. Joreuz needs to be tricky here, though. What's it going to be? He can't just fake the kickoff to the back corner because Jack will kill it. So that takes one of the options away. Wouldn't have been available anyway. It's a slight offset approach. Joreuz just goes for a slightly delayed option, and that didn't work out. Jack just piles right through him. And wow, what a comeback we've already seen by this guy. It's clear to see that the qualifier matchup that we saw between these two was no fluke. Jack able to beat Joreuz 3 times in a row, and he, just like I said earlier, has all the momentum on his side. Whenever you have these reverse sweeps and best of 7s going, it's so hard to stop. Like, Jack is absolutely rolling right now.
The only thing I think is a mistake right now is Jack not readying up for this game. We saw yesterday how well Exotic was playing, and then he also took that time in between games. And he looked a little bit close to his Game 1 tentativeness in that Game 7. Jack needs to keep this momentum going. He cannot think of this as his chance to win this series, because we've already seen that makes a huge difference. That starts playing on your mind.
I mean, yeah, who knows why he's taking a minute. Maybe he just had to go wash his hands or something. I know that this game is going to be getting pretty sweaty. Who knows what kind of state his controller's in. Doesn't want to have a thumb slip in a key moment here. But this is it, guys. It is time for Game 7. It somehow happened again. in Fusion 1. So we said we had a stacked bracket and anybody could win, but I didn't expect it to be this ridiculous. Joreuz going for the card change here. He's not happy with how things are looking in the Fennec. I don't think these are Jack's camera settings. There we go, so we do get the actual settings on show. Joreuz with a high flick, it hit the bar, and Jack stays underneath it. Helps it clear. Once again, though, Joreuz is actually taking early shots in a lot of these plays, and we did not see this from him until Game 6. It is not a thing we saw early in the game. The demo by Jack. Is he just going to let it roll in? He is. This is unreal. I actually can't believe what I'm seeing. This would be even more surprising than Exotic against Khaled yesterday.
Absolutely would be. I mean, Exotic at least put the performance on, but getting the win is something entirely different. We said coming into this is the most pressure Joreuz has ever felt. This has got so much harder for him. And if he pulls out a performance here, that we would, if he even looks remotely like the Joreuz that we are typically used to seeing, that'll be such a credit to him, because I can only imagine what he's feeling in this game.
Yeah, he's got all the pressure. We saw it in NA with Mile for G2. That's another demo goal. Jack puts it in. What on earth is happening? Joreuz gets caught 2 times. Usually he would see these threats a mile away, but he just gets clipped. And Jack converts again. 2-0. This just is so difficult to stop once this reverse sweep gets rolling. It's just all for Jack at the moment, and Joreuz needs to do something quickly.
ApparentlyJack off the wall after that 3rd goal, where it starts to really look difficult, and he's almost got it. Joreuz keeps it out. Kept out as well. ApparentlyJack's going to back down. Joreuz determined to stay close to the ball. It's not that much power on the flick. Instead, looked for wipeout ApparentlyJack and didn't get it. He's going to have to give up that back boost as well. Joreuz went very aggressive. Got 0 of the reward. ApparentlyJack up to the air. That is another great save.
Joreuz being made to work defensively here. He's got another wall shot, and he puts it off target. Earlier in the series, these would have been 3 goals for Joreuz. Surely this is. No, it's another save. Joreuz must be frustrated right now. Jack is playing brilliantly, and he's got to go 3. No, he misses. Surely. Oh my goodness, Jack actually can't score this. It's out of range. This is crazy.
Okay, Johnny, when you were writing this script, did you just get too excited on like some sort of energy drink and just start scribbling? Because this is incomprehensible Rocket League right now. But it's brilliant.
I mean, I thought earlier on when we saw Sandrock against Oxygen, yeah, people aren't going to believe this. It's too crazy what we're seeing here. But this takes it a step further. I actually have no idea how we are ending up in a position like this. But that's Rocket League 1v1 for you guys. A bump on the recovery from Jack. He's just respawned and he played his only
he's lost the
condition.
boost.
Joreuz is still in a good spot, but Jack is making this so hard for him.
Joreuz does not want to lose that 100, but he's been forced to. Jack keeping the pressure on. Joreuz, first time shot. Is he going to get this one? What a save that is!
What?
ApparentlyJack on the counter-attack. Off the wall, Joreuz forced to scramble. It's going to be over in that corner. Wants that demo one more time, but Joreuz sees it coming.
Joreuz saw that one, and it was so important that he did. If he fell for the same trick 3 times in a row this game, it would have been over. Now, what can he do in offense? He can't actually see where Jack is, but he heard him, and he goes underneath his jump. Jack is so fast, though, and Joreuz is hesitating. He doesn't know what to do. He's scoreless in over 3 minutes. Jack playing the game of his life, and Joreuz is being forced back time and time again. And dare I say it, Jack looks like the player who's most likely to score again.
Off that wall, both players going to pick themselves up 100. Joreuz is so desperate for that demo play. But ApparentlyJack, he's fully aware that that receipt is coming to him. Doesn't want to hand it off. Joreuz flip reset off the ceiling, but there was no power from it. ApparentlyJack up to the wall, and he slow plays. He's the first one to break the manic pace of this game, and it might result in another goal for him, but Joreuz with the counter. Going to be able to push this to the other side of the field. Over the top. What a shot that is! 2-1. My goodness, what a game this is.
Joreuz played it well. Perfect. Full volley at the top of the bounce. And it's a 1-goal game. That's what Joreuz needed. Just to get a reset here. Stop this ball rolling around with no goals being scored. Jack might be about to score on him. Not enough power on the shot. Joreuz races to the corner boost, gets it. He's got lots of space to his left. Tries to get into that position. Jack's right there with him. And it's a high flick that Jack might be able to capitalize on. Joreuz again plagued with inaccuracy.
Oh, but Joreuz went heavy. He's managed to get it. He's got the catch on the bow. 2H!
What control by Joreuz. The 50-50 goes in his favor, but he still had so much work to do. That's incredible to just get the perfect first touch on this one under so much pressure. And we have got a tie game. The script continues to deliver. 57 seconds left.
It's a good kickoff from Joreuz as well. Apparently Jack only was able to pick up one boost. Joreuz looking to set up. Is he going to go heavy for this one? No! He goes heavy on the shot, however. And it's far too strong for ApparentlyJack.
It's just not enough on that from Jack. He tried to hit it into the back corner, but it's stuck around in the middle, and Joreuz nails the flick when it matters most. His accuracy is returning to him. Jack up against it now. He was riding high for so long, but now he knows what it's like to be behind in the last moments. He's read the fake challenge. He's bumped it over him. Jack with a huge read ties us up again.
I mean, if there's anything Jack knows from this game is that Joreuz has not been settling back behind the ball. What a read that is, however, just to get the timing that right. There we go, Johnny. We're all tied up again. 38 seconds.
It's ridiculous. I don't know how Jack can watch a fake challenge that close from Joreuz. That's just in. That's just going in. He doesn't even need to touch it. Joreuz lets himself down with the side-on kickoff. Look where he lands here. He's nowhere near goal side on that one. And it's looking like 2016 with a kickoff goal. 34 seconds left and Jack's in front.
Just keep switching the lead back and forth, but if you're ApparentlyJack, you're hoping that's the last one.
You'd hope
He's in a good spot. Although ApparentlyJack is getting bumped away from this.
Oh, he's good here for now. Joreuz really in a tricky position, gets the boost on the respawn. Jack fakes a challenge, Joreuz bites on it, looks for the bump and just misses it. Is this it? Is this Jack's moment to secure the game?
Goes over the top! 2-goal lead! 11 seconds left! Stormtroopers could be on their way to the semi-finals, and it's a banger of a shot to take it.
And the difference is clear to see. Joreuz went 1 goal ahead. He fakes a challenge against Jack. Jack does not fall for it. You reverse the roles, and Joreuz does not read the play. That is game. That is the match. Stormtroopers advance. Dignitas are eliminated from the 1v1. 4 games in a row. Joreuz can't believe it. I can't believe it either. That is one of the most insane comebacks I have ever seen, not just in 1v1, not just in Fusion, but in just Rocket League in general. I don't know if there's anything that we can do to describe to you guys just how ridiculous it is to reverse sweep Joreuz when you're coming into this tournament with pretty much no notable 1v1 series wins on your record. You got a couple of big wins in best of ones essentially in the qualifier, but wow, hats off to Jack. That's incredible. He somehow managed to one-up Oxygen here, who looked like they were going to get the plays of the day, but Jack goes one better, takes Joreuz out in round 1.
And it's impossible to understate just how much Jack improved throughout that series. Games 1 and 2,
Madness.
He did not look at all comfortable on this pitch. But as it went along, he added more to his repertoire. He started catching Joreuz out. And as the momentum gained onto his side, he made the most of it. Who said Stormtroopers can't be accurate? ApparentlyJack through to the semi-finals, and it's well-deserved.
Oh, absolutely. And, you know, it's great to see the GGs from Joreuz at the end there. That's got to be frustrating. I mean, I talked about it briefly before the series exploded into action there. But we saw a similar thing from Mile and NA. G2 bringing him under their wing for that tournament. And he just couldn't get the job done under the pressure. It looked like Joreuz was going to pull through. It looked like he was going to do what he's supposed to do and get the series win. That's just not happened, because in these moments he's got new pressure behind him. He's got the backing of a massive organization, all these fans wanting his team to do well, and not just in the ones. He wasn't just brought in as a ones man. He's playing the threes as well, so even more pressure on Joreuz's shoulders.
Yeah, it's something that he will have to grow into. He's not had the luxury, and it's sometimes, you know, a lot of players don't want to play Rival Series, but it's a luxury that helps sometimes getting you more prepared for these big situations. Instead, he's been thrust into the limelight, and he's going to take some time to recover from, sort of these situations where he is put onto the back foot. Today, he was unable to figure quite out how to recover when someone is putting that sort of pressure on you. It will take time, and I think if anyone out there is going to make, the rash judgments, stop now. It is early days, and it is a lot of pressure for a young man.
Oh, absolutely. And it's the same thing as we saw earlier. We're seeing favorites fall over here in multiple brackets with just incredible individual performances from underdogs. Azrael looked unbeatable. He looked unstoppable in the 2v2 earlier. And then we see Jack just coming back and stabilizing and elevating his gameplay to something I've never seen from him before. Hats off to him. He's performed so well here and puts himself into that semi-finals, and he's waiting for the winner of Scrub Killer versus Fairy Peak, potentially, if those are the players that Vitality and Singularity decide to send out for once. Of course, they've got Alpha, they've got Tho as well, so it's a bit unclear there who he's going to be up against, but if he can play like that, I think he's going all the way to the final. Jack just looking incredible today in that comeback. But that's not the only thing to think about in terms of ApparentlyJack's performance. He's also got the overall standings contribution now with Stormtroopers on the board. We thought it would be Dignitas picking up 3 points, but it's actually Stormtroopers getting up there, getting into the mix. And who knows, they've still got the 3v3 to come. It's not going to be easy there. They do have to go up against Oxygen, who, for me, after seeing them today in 2v2, have to be the heavy favorites there, but I don't think Jack cares about favorites after seeing the 1v1 today against Joreuz. If that could brush off on his teammates, Dead Monster and Polar, then who knows what can happen there.
Yeah, he's going to be heading into those team comms just, feeling on top of the world, and why not? But if you're on the opponent's side, you're going to have to try and get some wins against him early. You do not want him to continue that momentum, and he is going to continue that momentum. I'm still, as you can tell, a little bit shocked by what I've just seen. It's going to take a wee while to recover from that, but my goodness, what a show today, Johnny.